Okay, It's time to cover the rest of the Week 13 matchups. It's time to make those decisions. Let's talk about some people that maybe you don't know. Should I start them?
Yeah.
Should I sit them? We're going to give you all the rest of the matchups on the show today, so let's get straight to it.
Welcome to the FantasyLand Football Podcast.
What up? You already know.
What's good? What's good? Hello. Welcome into the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hello,
that?
the Shar.
I don't know. Welcome into the show, guys. This is Zach. That is Daniel Badaki. And it is Thursday, the 3rd of December.
That's right.
Hope you're having a great Thursday. Badaki, how is your Thursday so far?
Thursday's good so far. Not too bad out here, you know. Same old. Just another day.
Yeah.
Classic.
Another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. Wednesday afternoon football yesterday.
Interesting.
What a game.
Yeah, I think everyone expected this result. Obviously, RG3. He actually played decent until he got hurt.
Yeah.
Obviously, he threw that pick six, and then I forgot this guy, the quarterback that came in. I forgot his name. But
Chase McSorley.
Yeah, McSorley.
Something like that.
So the sorcerer himself came in.
Yeah.
And he whipped up something nice.
Yeah, and every Ravens fan is obsessed with this guy for whatever reason.
Yeah. Not sure why.
You know what? The Ravens are in actual danger of missing the playoffs now.
Huge. The Browns are leading. I think they're in the third in their division currently.
Yeah. Will the Ravens make the playoffs? What do you think?
Yes, they'll make the wild card.
Okay. What a difference a couple weeks have made for the Ravens, and obviously that offense looks a little bit different now. But let's talk about some news.
What is going on here?
What is going on around the National Football League? What is the need-to-know news? Ain't no gossip, but what do you need to know? No goss, straight facts.
Right.
Bye weeks, they're back.
Yep, you know it.
They're back again.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Panthers, like we said, Ronald Jones, all these guys, Robbie Anderson, CMC, all these guys. You know who it is. Come on.
Yeah. All right, at practice yesterday, we haven't got the practice reports for today just yet, but these are the players who did not participate. Daniel Jones, I don't think either of us expect him to play.
Yeah.
Kenny G didn't practice. That's not a surprise. That feels like a 2020 standard, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And then Josh Jacobs did not practice either. I think today and tomorrow, guys, are the practice reports you need to really pay attention to. I actually expected him not to practice yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah. I think this is the whole point. If you listen to our waiver wire episode, we're telling you to get Devontae Booker. Just in case, you know.
Yeah.
Chris Carson, limited at practice this week. He's a little bit sore from that Monday night game, but it's all right. Hey, he's all right. Like, I'm not worried about it. Don't be worried if you're Chris Carson. No, David Johnson officially off IR. He will be at practice. I expect him to be at practice today. So
it's funny. I just am I don't know David Johnson. Thank the Lord. I'm just imagining what people who had him on IR are thinking now.
Yeah, we need the
yay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that.
I'm excited. No, hey, David Johnson is back. I guess that's good. I don't know. I'm not sure you're excited about it if you own him, but
no,
maybe you desperately need him.
Not at all. DeAndre Swift, he's back at practice, close to returning for Sunday. He did some drills, nothing crazy.
This is a guy I can be excited about.
Mitch Trubisky. He's starting against the Lions. According to Matt Nagy, Mitch Trubisky is going to be the starting quarterback for Week 13. thought process.
Here's how I'll describe the Chicago Bears quarterback situation. Just anyone who's a starting quarterback.
His hair, whack. His gear, whack. The way that he talks, whack. The way that he doesn't even like to smile, whack.
I just don't think it really matters, if I'm honest with you. I'm not sure that it really matters who's the quarterback there. Okay. I'm not sure it helps either way.
Yeah, say no more. I mean, some people like him, some people don't. I think my thought process is, does A-Rob stock go up a little bit? I mean, his stock is kind of already up.
I think it stays exactly where it is, which isn't a bad thing if you own A-Rob.
Okay, say no more. Myles Gaskin, back at practice, participating in drills. There's a huge, huge benefit. Yeah. For the Miami Dolphins, if you have Myles Gaskin, you were waiting on him. He's a tremendous talent. I'm excited to see what he can do to finish off the rest of the year.
Absolutely. Would love to see him back in this team, and I would love to see him with Ryan Fitzpatrick, but we will see how that pans out. To finish off the need-to-know news, we got some Falcons to talk about. Todd Gurley day-to-day this week. And then Julio and Calvin limited at practice. I think we expect Calvin, obviously, to play. Julio is still a game-time decision, and we're probably not going to know until an hour before the game.
Probably. And I don't know. Just don't start him with confidence, I guess.
Yeah. No, you can't.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm a Julio Jones owner, and I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, the best way to keep up with all things fantasy football is to follow us on our social media accounts. Instagram is at FantasyLand Football. Twitter is at FantasyLand_FB. You can find us on TikTok at FantasyLand Football.
Mm-hmm.
And then on YouTube, subscribe and hit the notification. By the way, we're going live on Saturday again to answer all your start-sit questions, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, of course, if you're listening on any podcast platform, if you could drop us a review, that would be much, much appreciated. But let's give you a little update, okay? Just a tiny, tiny little update on our fantasy football league.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
All right. Obviously, guys, if you are in... I don't know. I feel like every league is a little bit hard to update given the current circumstances with the game that literally just finished last night.
Yeah.
But we will give you a couple updates, okay? A couple updates. Let's have a look at our fantasy football league. Again, on our Instagram, you can find every single person who plays in our league. There's a little highlight that says our league. You'll be able to find find out a little bit more about every single guy in our league. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's just check it out. We love it. But it was an interesting week.
Yeah.
To say the least. I think that a lot of this is going to be a tight race for the playoffs. I think there's about four to five people that are still in race for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highest scorer on the week. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but it was yours truly. I had Tyreek, which obviously popped off. Nick Chubb did his job. Calvin Ridley did his job. Russell Wilson didn't really do his job technically. Neither did Josh Jacobs. But, man, when you get almost 60 points from one player, it kind of secures the bag.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought Tyreek the freak, he went off. You're buzzing about that for sure.
Yeah, and Jordan Westfield was the lowest scorer of the week. He now hurts his playoff chances as he sits at 6-6. There's actually so many scenarios of so many different people who can make the playoffs. We got a lot of people who are 6-6. We got people who are 5-7 now. And there's a lot of matchups this week that could determine a playoff spot. No one is guaranteed other than you, myself,
Sammy,
Sam Green, and Joe.
Yeah, that's it.
There's 2 playoff spots up for grab, really.
So in my quick analysis, I think it's probably going to be Wesley if he wins this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think he has a pretty decent matchup against, excuse me, against Baca.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty easy win in my opinion.
Don't disrespect to the boy. No disrespect to the boy, though.
Yeah, no disrespect, but like Baca's team is really interesting. He has a lot of Tampa Bay people, which are all on bye.
Yeah.
By the way, so have no idea how that's. He has Ronald Jones, Antonio Brown, Tom Brady. He has all these people. I have no idea what's going to happen there.
Yeah. Life's been a little bit hectic here, guys, so we haven't been able to give you a recap on our Instagram yet, but we will be doing that for sure. We're going to actually interview some of these guys about playoffs and after the year as well, talking about how their year went, maybe bad moves they made, good moves they made. We might interview some of the people who are going to be facing each other in the playoffs because, let's be real, that's all we're really talking about right now is the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
But rest assured that both Badaki and I are in the playoffs, so there are good things ahead. But let's get to what we're here to talk about. All right, let's talk about the rest of these Week 13 start or sits, Part 2, if you will.
Excuse me, can I touch you for a minute? Excuse me, can I touch you for a minute?
All right, let's break down these Week 13 starts or sits. We did the first half of these on the show yesterday, Badaki.
Yeah.
So if there's a matchup that you don't hear about today, all you got to do is go to yesterday's podcast, and you'll be able to find every single matchup this week. We're breaking it all down. All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
All right. The 7-4 Rams at the 6-5 Cardinals. A huge game.
Yeah, massive. Means a lot for playoff implications.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. This is going to be a fight. Cooper Kupp, Roberto Woods, Jared Goff are all these guys that you're starting on the Rams side of the ball. These are the only guys that you're starting with confidence. If you have them on your team to... Let me rephrase that. Not Jared Goff, okay?
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp and Roberto Woods are the only guys you're starting with confidence. Roberto Woods. Come on. You already know. Look, once again, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, the only guys you're starting because,
yeah,
I mean, those are the only guys you can really trust. And even now, Cooper Kupp it's kind of hard to trust right now. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods has been a little bit more consistent.
Yeah,
but Jared Goff, I think, is a great option this week.
What's crazy is a bunch of I think Cooper Kupp has so much respect as a wide receiver amongst wide receivers in this league,
right?
But for whatever reason, they're not really force-feeding targets to these two wide receivers, which are very talented. It's quite interesting to see.
Yeah, I think Sean McVay really wants to get this run game going, and he's doing a running back by committee thing right now because he has had success. Working. Say that again?
Okay, yeah, sorry. It is working for the team. It's just not working for fantasy.
No, you're right. And that's the thing. Like, it has been successful for the team, rotating all these three guys in and out of the lineup to gain yards. All these guys have touchdowns. And obviously it sucks for fantasy, but that's really it. With that being said, I'm not excited starting any of these running backs or tight ends. I'm not starting Tyler Higbee, Cam Akers, Malcolm Brown, any of these guys whatsoever because I'm just not excited.
Yeah, agreed. I think, like we've said all year, it's a Russian roulette situation in a lot of these backfields. Patriots have been one of them. Obviously the Rams have been probably the biggest running back by committee Russian roulette that we're like avoid entirely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this whole thought process of people ranking Darrell Henderson so high midway through the season was such an alarm to us. It's like, no, there's no way I'm going to trust this guy. And you can see it starting to unfold that way, unfortunately.
Kyler Murray, bounce back game for me. I think he's going to have a great opportunity to come back here and, feed the ball, do something special.
Are you worried about his arm?
I'm not.
shoulder,
I'm not worried about it. Are you?
head, knees, and toes. I am slightly worried about it. And I'm worried about it not just for Kyler Murray, but also for DeAndre Hopkins or Christian Kirk.
Okay.
If you watched that game, he didn't really look like himself. He had signs of himself,
Right.
but I saw limitations personally in the way he played. And maybe it was more just really great game plan from Bill Belichick. I don't know. But it was concerning to me.
Yeah.
You're obviously starting him.
Yeah, you're definitely starting him. I think you're starting him. I think this is a bounce back game for him. I think this is a game that he can show, who he is. He's playing against a tough team right now. The Rams are a really good team. He's gonna have the Rams gonna have their best cornerback against their best wide receiver. Jalen and DeAndre Hopkins are gonna go at it right now, and I'm happy to see that. And obviously, you're starting DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, you have to.
No doubt. In this backfield right now, for me, I think Kenyon Drake is the guy that you're starting. And this was the Kenyon Drake that you were expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to start him.
You are?
If I had Kenyon Drake, I'm excited to start Kenyon Drake on my team. Like, he has been getting the work. Okay. He has been finding the end zone. He's found the end zone twice in the past 2 games. I mean,
I'm listening.
I don't know. That's all I have to say. I think this is the.
I'm still worried. I don't know. Maybe I have trust issues.
I personally believe this is Kenyon Drake is gonna be the X factor in this game, because if Kyler Murray can't throw the ball with his arm strength, and like you're concerned, and Jalen Ramsey is shutting down DeAndre Hopkins, it's Kenyon Drake.
I own Kenyon Drake from week 1 to 4. So if you go back and look at his game logs, you'll understand why I have trust issues.
For sure.
And I'm not sure that I can trust him yet. I think I view him more as like when we talked about starting David Johnson, or like a guy like David Montgomery. He had a great game last week, by the way, but normally you're like, oh.
So are you starting?
I have to start him, but I'm not happy about it.
Are you starting David Johnson or Kenyon Drake?
Definitely Kenyon Drake.
Okay.
Because David Johnson looks like he's aged in dog years. He looks like a senior citizen now.
Let me give you one more scenario.
That was completely unnecessary to throw him under the bus like that. Wow, calm down, Zach. Okay, what?
Damian Harris or Kenyon Drake?
Kenyon. Yeah. Just because the offense is better.
Okay, say no more.
Okay.
Kenyon Drake, in my personal opinion, is going to be the X factor in this game if Kyler Murray's arm is an issue. So I personally, with confidence, can tell you to start Kenyon Drake. I think he's going to be utilizing the screen. I think he's going to be punching the ball in. He's clearly the bigger back. And my Hail Mary for this game will probably have to be Christian Kirk. And that's purely because DeAndre Hopkins is going to be shadowed by Jalen Ramsey. He obviously is the boomer bust guy. I think Christian Kirk could be finding a lot more targets this week.
Yeah.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin 1/4 mile.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
All right, let's talk about the next matchup. We've got the 5-6 Patriots at the 3-8 Chargers.
Oh boy.
All right, Patriots. We've literally just talked about it. This running back situation is frustrating. Because James White, here's why I'm frustrated.
Okay.
I would have rather had Damian Harris and James White both had a solid 15 touches, because then we could have told people they're both decent flexes. But James White's volume was shockingly low last week. Like, very underwhelming. Those 2 touchdowns are the only reason he had more than 3 points in this game.
Yeah.
And it's just a situation that I'm personally trying to avoid. And let me ask you before we break down the Patriots, is there a must start on this team? Is there a must start on this team?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think I know it sounds dumb, but if you have a James White or Damian Harris, you must start him.
I don't know.
And
I don't know if you must start them.
Depending on your options, but if you...
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have a David Johnson, you have him on your IR. I will still start Damian Harris or James White over David Johnson.
Okay.
You know,
that's a fair scenario.
Obviously, we said about Kenny and Drake. We're starting Kenny and Drake over these guys. But if you are
definitely
uncertain about Kenny and Drake, I think either of those guys will be a good option to plug in.
You got to start Kenny and Drake over these options. My issue with this team is I feel like there's tons of players that are kind of just okay in fantasy. Could be okay, but could be big busts each week. And that's what you find here in this team across the board. Cam Newton, could he have a great game against the Chargers? Sure.
Right.
By the way, he's dealing with an ab injury, so that's something to monitor.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not excited about starting Cam Newton, and I'm not going to actually start him because I don't want to bet my week on him.
No, I'm not starting Cam Newton whatsoever. I think this is the Chargers are a good team, good defense.
Yeah.
Despite their record, but I think there's no way I'm starting Cam Newton this week.
Yeah, I think you can start him in the playoffs. Week 16, by the way, and we're going to talk about that later on our Instagram page. But anyway, Jacoby Myers is the last guy I want to talk about here. Again, you know how I feel about the running backs. Not excited to start either, but maybe you're in a position where you have to. And if you had to choose one, I'm going Damian Harris. And the reason is because of the volume. He's got all the volume in that backfield. And I think those 2 touchdowns that were on the ground, by the way, they were rushing touchdowns. Because James White, you expect him to get a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
Like you expect him to catch it.
Absolutely.
I see that could easily flip. And Damian Harris has a better chance of getting 2 touchdowns this week than James White does, in my opinion, because of the volume.
Yeah,
but
I can see it. I can see it happening. It's just hard to tell. You know, Bill Belichick is all about game script. You know, James White can come in.
He doesn't care about your fantasy team at all.
Absolutely not. And I think that's the hard part.
I agree. But Jacoby Myers, let's quickly talk about him. Can you trust any Patriots wide receiver?
No.
No.
I'm not trusting. Okay. I'm not trusting them. I'm not starting them. I'm not even rostering them at this point.
I like it. Okay, the Chargers must start. You are starting Justin Herbert. I know last week was hard to watch, and I feel like if the play calling was a little bit better, he could have had at least 10 more points. But you're starting him.
Yeah.
You're starting Keenan Allen, target monster, and yes, coming back. And honestly, this is a little bit frustrating if you were watching the game unless you owned Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler's back. Okay?
That's right, baby.
And he's getting a crazy amount of volume, maybe to the point where it could cost this team. Let me explain.
Okay.
I feel like we all saw how good Justin Herbert was. And then when Austin Eckler came back last week, it was like, this is the game plan. It's only Austin Eckler. Let's shove opportunities down his throat to the point where he can't breathe. And I think there needs to be a more balanced game plan this week. You need to, because I feel like you're actually doing your team an injustice by forcing one guy the ball. That's how I feel about it. I think there needs to be more of the gunslinger Justin Herbert and less of the shoving targets and volume to Austin Eckler. I don't know. You're probably going to say something different, but that's probably because you own Austin Eckler.
No, I definitely agree. I think to help the team overall to win, I mean, it has to be distributed evenly. Absolutely. I think Austin Eckler is, like, look what they've done with Austin Eckler, and then look at what they were doing when they had Kalen Ballage, Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly. Yeah. He's clearly someone that comes in and it makes a difference. And I think
definitely
that there's nothing wrong with utilizing him. I think you have to utilize him in the right way. And for sure, last week when they utilized him, it was so much. It was so wrong.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't efficient at all. By the way,
they abandoned.
It was very inefficient.
Yeah, they abandoned Keenan Allen. They abandoned all their talent on the outside, to where it cost them that win. So I definitely see it, and I think that this Patriots team is different. Okay, I think that Austin Eckler is going to have the opportunity to run over them personally.
Yeah, we'll see. I think obviously, and the other guy, Hunter Henry. These are all people you're must they're must starts.
Yeah.
You're starting Herbert, Allen, Eckler, and Henry, and you're not thinking about it, guys. They are must starts. Well, let's quickly glance over on Mike Williams. I see Mike Williams as my Hail Mary matchup, my Hail Mary player for this game, because he is the definition of a Hail Mary player. He either gets you 20 points and it's from 3 catches, or he gets 1 catch and he gets you, 20 or 2 points. So
right.
It's really hard to gauge his value each week. And it doesn't look like there was that hope that, man, maybe Herbert's going to force Williams some more targets. It doesn't seem like that's translated so far.
Yeah, I do completely agree. Hail Mary, Mike Williams.
Yeah.
3-7-1 Eagles at the 8-3 Packers out in Lombardi. Wow.
Lombardi.
I think this is going to be a good game.
Party with Cardi.
Party with Cardi. Shout out to Cardi B.
Shout out to you, Cardi B.
Miles Sanders, obviously he didn't have his best game last week.
No.
But this is a bounce back game. The Packers give up the second most points to running backs, and Miles Sanders should have probably his best game of the season this week. He should.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I agree.
Honestly, but he definitely should. Let's be honest. It's really only Miles Sanders you're starting on this team, other than Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. I think if you have both of these guys, essentially they're must starts. If Zach plays, he's off of IR, but if Zach plays, you have to play both of these guys.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dallas Goedert's volume and upside will be
condensed,
brought down.
Yeah.
When Zach Ertz returns to the field, and it's unfortunate, but I think there's enough volume to make both of these guys must starts. And I just want to say that Miles Sanders' usage last week against the Seahawks.
That's pitiful. I mean, it's absolutely pitiful to perform like that.
That is another example of terrible game plan, terrible coaching.
Yeah. I saw an actual stat. I don't have it here with me, but throughout the week since Miles Sanders has been back from injury, his usage has been going down and down and down, and Boston Scott has been getting more and more and more.
Wow, makes a lot of sense. Look, Miles Sanders is so talented.
Yeah,
it's not hard. It's actually not hard sometimes. And I don't know a head coach is ever going to hear this, but guys, it's actually not hard sometimes. If you have talented players, give them the football. You don't need to figure some sort of, maybe this guy's going to get into this matchup. No, it's Miles Sanders is a talented guy. We know this. We've seen this. It's proven.
Yeah.
Why is the volume not there? I think we were sitting at halftime and looking. I think he had under 5 touches.
Yeah, we said that. We was like, whoa, how many touches does Miles have? And he was like, I think he only has like 5. And I was like, what's going on? Like, and every time he got the ball, he was breaking tackles. He was doing something not special, but he was making a difference to where he was getting 4, 5, 6 yards every time he carried the ball.
Look, the Eagles have no chance to win this game at all unless Miles Sanders gets 20 touches.
Wow.
They have no chance. No chance to win this game.
Say no more. Look, on this team, like I said, there's no one else that you're starting besides Miles Sanders and these tight ends. I'm not excited to start any of these wide receivers. Alshon Jeffrey, Jalen Reagor, Travis Fulgham, all these guys I'm not starting with confidence. I'm not starting them at all. I don't even think any of these guys are rosterable to have anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like we've talked about before, going into the playoffs, you got to start thinking differently. You have to start getting rid of pieces that are just there in case they do pan out, and start strategizing. Words are hard. Start strategizing defenses in the playoffs. Streaming players in the playoffs. So yeah, I agree.
Packers side of the ball, these cheeseheads, Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, and Devontae Adams, Detective Adams himself. Those are the guys you're starting without confidence. You're putting them in the lineup, and you're saying, GG's, thanks for playing.
I trust you. Yeah.
GG's, boys. Thanks for playing.
That's all. That's literally thanks. Thanks for contributing to my fantasy team, and because somehow in some way they will give you some sort of points. Aaron Jones maybe not so because he's sharing the ball with Jamal Williams now. And let me ask you a question: if you have Jamal Williams, if you picked up the handcuff just to be that guy, are you starting Jamal Williams? Is there a chance that you can start Jamal Williams?
Yeah, of course there's a chance you could start Jamal Williams, but I mean, well, here's a great question. Then Jamal Williams or Damian Harris?
Yeah, Jamal Williams or Kenyon Drake, but Jamal Williams or who was the other guy? David Johnson.
Yeah, I would actually feel comfortable starting Jamal Williams over David Johnson, considering how they're using Jamal Williams. If you listen to the show, you already know how upset I am about Aaron Jones's usage. It's disrespectful, and I think there's ill intent behind it.
Ill intent, conspiracy.
And I think the ill intent is his contract situation.
Just terrible.
So I'll just leave it at that.
Maybe we should send a message or tweet to Aaron Jones and be like, bro, you should really get this looked into.
Yeah, he's gonna respond.
Yeah,
sure.
I think he will. I think he will love how much we care about his money.
I think he needs to get the hell out of Green Bay. I'll be honest with you. That's how I feel.
Where is he going?
Somewhere that will use him. Somewhere that will allow him to put up the numbers that he can put up.
Robert Tonyan finished tight end number 2 last week. Obviously, it wasn't hard to finish in tight end number 2. Let's be honest. This game, in my opinion, is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't see. Look, there's two scenarios here. High-scoring game for all receivers. Alan Lazard gets one. Robert Tonyan gets one. Aaron Jones gets one. Okay, Devontae Adams gets one.
Adams, yeah.
Like I see that happening because of the Eagles. Then again, I see, defensive plays, and I see only Devontae Adams getting 3 touchdowns. So this is my thought process. I think Robert Tonyan is kind of a boom or bust player, which essentially is now considered a Hail Mary in our situation.
Right.
I think Robert Tonyan could get lost in this mix, but he can also be the guy that leads it. So
yeah,
at my
he's
bet,
your Hail Mary then.
Yeah, he's my Hail Mary. I think he could contribute this week. I'm not really excited about it, but if you want to start him, you can start him. And then I'm not starting anyone else on this team. I'm not starting Alan Lazard. I'm not starting MVS. All those guys, don't question it.
Yeah, desperation plays at best. Hey guys, you can actually support the show now on Patreon. Patreon.com/FantasyLandFam. We don't want to spend too much time on it, but as you know, if you've been listening to the show, this is your opportunity to support us. And we've got a lot of things planned for next year, for this offseason. So head to patreon.com/FantasyLandFam to support the show, to continue to believe in us. We appreciate every single one of you. Let's talk about the 4-7 Broncos at the 10-1 Kansas City Chiefs.
How about them Chiefs?
Look, there's not a lot to talk about in this matchup. It's a divisional matchup. So, sure, anything can happen. But I don't see the Broncos standing any chance. They get their quarterbacks back.
That's
right?
Good. Yeah, that's good. All the way to have a quarterback this week.
Yeah. And apparently none of them had COVID. So that's got to feel really awesome if you are Vic Fangio, knowing that none of your quarterbacks had COVID and you had to play the guy who worked at Marshalls and Home Goods. But look, there's no must start on this team. I'll be honest with you. There's no must start on this Broncos team. And I think the only guy I'm even considering starting is Noah Fant.
That's crazy.
Noah Fant is a talented guy, and that's the only reason I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Because I think he is the most talented receiving option outside of Jerry Jeudy, which they're not forcing him the ball. And I'm excited to see what Jerry Jeudy and Noah Fant look like next year, because I feel like they could develop more chemistry with Drew Lock.
Yeah.
But are you starting Noah Fant this week? I don't know. I'm not confident against this team.
Man, I think if Drew Lock is back, you have to start Noah Fant. I think if you're a Noah Fant owner and you don't have any other options, you have to start him. I was going to ask you this: Robert Tonyan or Noah Fant?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I would lean Noah Fant because I think there's more opportunity for yards.
What about? I was going to say Logan Thomas.
Yeah, I would go Noah Fant too. So I guess my thing is he's not a must start, but if you have him, you might have to start him. I know that sounds contradictory, but I don't want to start him. But you're probably in a situation with this tight end market where you probably have to.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the thought process. Yeah.
Last guy is Melvin Gordon, and look, I just don't feel confident starting any running back on this team. I think it's a good matchup against the Chiefs, and I think you could probably start him as a desperation flex, but that's it. I'm not relying on him in my running back position outside of desperation flex.
Say no more.
Fair?
Yeah. Fair. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, obviously the Kansas City Chiefs.
Bang! Bang! It's good! Wins the game at the buzzer!
You own one of these guys and you are feeling just fine.
Mm-hmm. If you're an NBA fan, by the way, huge news.
Oh, massive news.
We don't want to elaborate
on that. We'll talk about
that
at the end. We'll talk about that on the end, at the end of the show. But this team is clutch, okay? If you got Patty, if you got Tyreek, if you got Travis, you're feeling good, like you should, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And all around the neighborhood, blast. Okay, but you're starting them. The person we need to talk about is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, okay?
Right.
Because his usage last game to me was actually quite concerning, considering their lead. I think the thought process was the Chiefs want to run the ball, and when they get up big in games, they want to kind of melt the clock. That was kind of the thought process going into the year. But we've never really seen that. We've never really seen the Chiefs put up points and then be like, oh, we're good. We'll stop doing this. Let's run the ball. It's never really been in the game plan ever.
No, I think Andy Reid just likes to slit the other team's throat in a sense. You know, like
that was vile.
That was probably very graphic and mean and aggressive from me, but you get what I'm saying. You know, Andy Reid is not this guy who's like, you know what, let's take a knee. Or let's run the clock. Let's run it. Let's keep running the ball and then get a 3 and out. Nah. You know what? We're going to put as many points on the board as we can just so that your team can try so hard that you put in your second team so my guys can rest.
Right.
You know? And I think that's the thought process with Andy Reid because it's just embarrassing.
Yeah. So let's talk about his game last week. They had the game in hand even though it was close, but he was held under 5 fantasy points in PPR. He had 13 touches, which isn't terrible, but I think the reason I'm concerned is because I expected more touches in a good game script for him. All that being said, you need to start Clyde.
Yeah. You do. You absolutely have
to. Is Bell's usage a little bit concerning though?
No.
Bell getting more involved in this game plan? No.
I'm not concerned. I think I have to look at the Chiefs' rest of schedule. But no, I'm not concerned. If I'm concerned about Clyde, period, not because of Le'Veon's usage, but just because of, you know, them not utilizing Clyde.
Yeah, I get it. But like we've said before, it's another one of those, like a David Johnson, David Montgomery, you don't feel great about starting them, but you have to.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
4-7 Washington football team at the undefeated Steelers.
Let's get it, baby.
Monday night.
Okay, I'm feeling an upset. I don't know. Let's show them who we are.
You never know.
Let's show them.
I believe with you. You know, this is the first doubleheader for Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Terry, Antonio are the guys you're starting. Period.
There you go, Terry. Put in reverse, Terry. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord.
I hope he's excited as that, Terry, because he goes up with fireworks. He's gonna put up some points. I hope he finds the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this is gonna be a really tough matchup for the Washington football team. Okay.
For sure.
I do believe that they are talented. I think that their front four is going to disrupt Ben for sure. In a way that we've never seen so far. Against Big Ben. So really, once again, Terry, Antonio, the only guys you're starting here with confidence. And my Hail Mary for this matchup is Logan Thomas. I think he is the Hail Mary for this team. He finds the way to get the ball. Okay, last week on Turkey Day, he caught a touchdown. It's hard to say what's going to happen against the Steelers defense. I think if you're somebody that has a Rob Gronkowski and needs a tight end, Logan Thomas could be a good addition for your team.
Okay, and I feel like I would do myself an injustice if I didn't talk about how good Antonio Gibson was quickly.
Say no more. Let's hear it.
He's just so good.
Take your time. You know, your Washington team.
I just want to ask how many. I think it's pretty clear that he's the best rookie running back in this class. I think it's pretty clear. Some would say James Robinson. Some would say Clyde. But I personally would rather have Antonio Gibson than any other running back in this class this year. And we got him in the 3rd round. I don't know. I just think he's really talented. I'm excited to see how this team pans out. And honestly, he's just been balling out the entire year. 11 touchdowns?
Oh my God, he on X Games mode.
11 touchdowns so far for Antonio Gibson?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Look, he's definitely been balling out. I mean, credit where credit's due. He's been doing his thing. I'm excited to see him in year 2. Hopefully you guys get some more additions to this offensive line for next year or something, you know, maybe another receiver, somebody that can complement Antonio, a quarterback.
Well, I just want to remind people that Allen Robinson's a free agent after this year. And I see a very realistic scenario of Allen Robinson heading to the Capitol, to DC. Could you imagine Terry on one side, Allen Robinson on the other, Antonio Gibson in the backfield, and Alex Smith could be the guy to just make it happen. He's done that before. Look at Kansas City. Right? I'm not saying we're the Chiefs' offense, but yeah.
I can say the same thing for the Giants. You know, we need a bigger receiver. We don't have that big receiver. We have a Darius Slayton, but we need an Allen Robinson. We need a veteran, a guy that can come in and mold.
He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid wherever he goes.
Absolutely. Steelers side of the ball, look, it's clear. You're starting everyone. Big Ben, Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith, Eric Ebron, James Conner. These are the guys you're starting. You're starting Claypool as well. Like you're setting and forgetting for all Steelers players. They're the best offense in the NFL, or one of the best offense in the NFL currently. The undefeated team. They could make history here. So don't question starting anyone whatsoever unless...
Yeah. It's a good defense. Washington has a good defense, but you're right. You have to start these guys.
Yeah.
All right. The 8-3 Bills at the 5-6 49ers. This is Monday Night Football, the second Monday Night Football game.
Mm-hmm.
The must start on the Bills, obviously Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and I think it's pretty clear that you can't trust anyone else in this offense. I want to quickly highlight Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley is the wide receiver 24 on the year.
Crazy.
That's crazy to think about. He is the 24th best wide receiver, which means that if he's... Just think about that for a second. Because if every team in your league, and you're in a 12-team league, if every team has 2 wide receivers, this guy is... I don't know how to explain it well at all, but it's just shocking to me that he is wide receiver 24.
I don't know if you have this information in front of you. Who is he ahead of currently? That is like, whoa.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that, to be honest.
Okay.
Obviously, like a DJ Chark, for example. A lot of people drafted DJ Chark pretty high in hopes that he would have a breakout year. So, you know, it happens. But my question to you is, are you starting Cole Beasley in this game?
I think you can. Yes.
Okay.
I'm starting Cole Beasley over Jacoby Myers. I'm starting
yes.
a Cole Beasley over
DJ Chark?
Yeah, DJ Chark. I'm starting Cole Beasley over Alan Lazard, MVS. I'm starting Cole Beasley over Mike Williams.
Yeah, okay. I agree. And I agree with all those takes. He's a fun flex, I think.
Yeah.
But the running back situation here, Devin Singletary or Zach Moss. Look, San Francisco is the 8th best defense against running backs, and they're getting healthy, more and more healthy every week.
It's funny to say because they have the most players on IR currently.
Yeah.
I think with 12 or 11. Something ridiculous.
I'm personally not looking to start either of these guys, and I don't think you can with any confidence.
No.
I'm not sure that they're even worth a roster spot. Yeah, they're worth a roster spot, but not guys you're excited about. But Raheem Mostert is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Raheem the Dream.
Raheem, Hakeem, Olajuwon the Dream, Raheem Mostert, Colonel Mustard, some would say, getting the work last week, and it's pretty clear that he's the guy in this backfield going forward.
Absolutely. I really want him to be healthy for next year if he's on this team for next year because
he's getting old.
Yeah, and I want him to succeed, and I think he is extremely talented. I think that I said this multiple times, he could have been a top 10 running back in this league if he stayed healthy. He had a tremendous start to the season.
Yeah.
Man, he can finish strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you must start him. Colonel Mustard. But that was a reach. Deebo Samuel came back last week in a fury. 13 targets last week. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he had a great game, put up over 24 points against the Rams defense, who is currently the best defense against wide receivers. Deebo Samuel, I think you can start. And I think you can start him with a little bit of confidence in your flex.
Absolutely.
It looks like he is that guy. Mm-hmm. The other guy who is, quote-unquote, that guy, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are so good with yards after the catch.
Yes.
They are so good yak wide receivers. They love catching the ball in space. I guess the game plan is give them the ball in space, let them use their athleticism to continue to get yards. And Brandon Ayuk was obviously being forced the ball. He was in the game plan. He was heavily in the game plan.
Yes.
I like Ayuk and Samuel. Obviously, Ayuk is coming off the COVID reserve list. I like both of them as flexes this week, personally.
Absolutely. I think Deebo Samuel's, after all those guys that we named, Jacoby Myers, Mike Williams, Colt Beasley, I think I'm starting Deebo Samuels over Colt Beasley. Personally, I like them a lot. I think Brandon Ayuk and Colt Beasley are in a sense equal. I think I will go. Yeah. I think I will still lean more Colt Beasley just because Brandon Ayuk is. We just haven't seen him play in a little bit, and I'm a little bit more confident starting Colt Beasley personally.
So you would lean Colt Beasley over Ayuk?
I think so. Yeah, it's hard to say right now. I think
I'm honestly going to take the chance on Ayuk there.
My thought process there is just that I just haven't seen Ayuk in such a long time. He's been out for 4 weeks or 5 weeks now.
Yeah, I guess the argument is we haven't seen Ayuk and Deebo together for a while.
Exactly. So that's the problem. I'm not sure how they meshed well together. Ayuk came in because Deebo was out. Ayuk was the guy when Deebo was out. I don't think we've seen him together on the field this year.
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I think you can start them both with confidence in the flex position. But Jordan Reed, the matchup looks good. Buffalo's the third worst in the league against tight ends. I feel like this is a Hail Mary matchup for me, a Hail Mary player. Right. Because I don't think you can really start him with any confidence despite the matchup. But it could pay off because the matchup is good.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the matchup's good and you know the chips fall where they may, Jordan Reed could have a good game. Hail Mary.
I'm not personally starting him. I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah, Hail Mary option. All right. Last and final matchup, the Tuesday night special 3-8 Cowboys at the 6-5 Baltimore Ravens.
Yep, we could have a game at any time this year.
we seen a Thursday. We had a game almost on every single day. We have Monday, we had a Tuesday, we have a Wednesday.
Just not Friday.
Oh, not Friday.
Or Saturday.
Oh no, didn't they do Friday football once?
Mm-mm.
Not yet, huh? Not this year.
No.
Just in general.
But never know. Next week, we could have Friday night football. You never know when it could be, to be honest.
That's right. Cowboy side of the ball, Zeke, Amari, CeeDee, and Dalton Schultz. Okay?
Yep.
And these guys are all grouped together. Okay? I think all these guys can have a good game, but all these guys can have a terrible game. All right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zeke has been very consistent. He had a really bounce back game. Amari Cooper is really the only guy that's been somewhat consistent on this offense throughout the whole year. And I think he's a must start in this scenario. Zeke is a must start. And CeeDee Lamb, he found the end zone last week against the Washington football team. Excuse me. And
no, he didn't. No, that was the week before.
Sorry, week before.
Sorry.
You're right. The week before, I think
that was against the Vikings, which, by the way, that catch was insane.
Yes, exactly.
But you're right. They're using him. His targets are
exactly. So I think it's still there. And Dalton Schultz, he's been finding the mix. I think he's been averaging 5 to 6 targets the last couple games. Once again, this Ravens defense isn't what we thought it was coming into this season, and it's not the same team in the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, most of them are must starts depending on your team. Okay, I think these guys are great flex options throughout the whole range. Amari is a great flex. It's crazy to say that. Obviously, Zeke is a top running back, but if you have, I think I'm starting Austin Eckler over Zeke.
Yeah, definitely. And I hate to say it. I actually don't hate to say it as a Washington fan, but I care about players. I just think Zeke's kind of lost a bit of the explosion that he had. I think they signed him to that max contract at a terrible time.
I also believe that he's also dealing with an injury that he's trying to fight through. He's been seen on the sidelines working with what's those stretchy things?
The elastic, whatever
the elastic
bands, right?
resistant bands, because I guess he's working on something there, and I think Zeke is hurt and he's playing through that injury and he's trying to get through it. So look,
you won't find me taking him in the first round next year. I'll just say that. I'm not taking him in the first round. No.
Yeah, I can see that. The whole next year's draft is going to be a jumble.
Yeah,
absolutely, completely different. But look, all these guys can either get you over 10 points or under 10 points, and I think you have to start these guys knowing what they're capable of. All these guys are capable of giving you, good points, and they can win you your week. But they can most definitely lose your week. So I'm telling you to start them because you have to. And if you don't have any other
options. Depending on your options.
Yeah, if you don't have any other options, then these guys are your must-start guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Ravens side of the ball, obviously just Mark Andrews and Lamar. Those are the guys you're starting. I'm not starting any running backs. I'm not starting any receivers. There's no one else on this team that you can start that I'm telling you to start. Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, let's be honest, those are the only guys you're starting. I mean, there's nothing else to talk about here.
Yeah, I agree. I think JK, unfortunately, because of JK could be the guy, we just don't know if it's going to happen, and therefore you can't start him. But that's all the matchups, guys. If you missed a matchup on this show, that's because it was on yesterday's show.
Yep.
We covered all the matchups this week. All the information that you need is in these 2 episodes. Now, there's probably a player that you want to ask a very specific question about, and we haven't answered it for you. So every Saturday, what we do is we go live on our YouTube page. You can find us if you search on YouTube, FantasyLand Football. And we answer all the start-sit questions. We actually take time to answer every single question. We answer over hundreds of questions every week. And come join us on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. We'd love to have you join us. But do not miss our next episode. We are going to recap Week 13, give you some cash and trash performances of the week.
Oh, boy.
All right, guys. Hopefully you get a dub this week. A big, big week. It's very crucial to make the playoffs.
This is the last week.
We wish you the best of luck, for real.
Absolutely. This is the last week. Try everything you absolutely can to get this W. Like Zach said, join the live stream. We are going to be going through every single player, every single game. We're going to answer all your questions. It's a big week for a lot of people if you're trying to make the playoffs.
Absolutely. Good luck, though. Get the dubs. Secure the bags.
Yeah.
And we will see you on the next episode or on the live stream. Okay? Have a good one, y'all. See you there.
See you there.
Hey, yeah, you, the one listening to this podcast, you made a good decision today. Keep making those good decisions. You know what? Go ahead and do a little dance right now, like no one's watching. 'Cause you deserve it.